Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Steve with S&S Mowing Service, and we're gonna do a little reading session here. Gonna start the day off with reading some Ed Mylett, Max Out Your Life. Uh, this channel is mowing, fixing mowers, cutting grass, shoveling snow, working on snow blowers and such. But at the same time, we also have to remember about ourselves and working on ourselves and putting in a little work into myself. I'm gonna start a little reading, get the brain going. I figured I'd put this up and see if anyone else would wanna listen to me read and read along with me. Maybe it'll motivate you to do a little reading. I haven't been reading in forever, so bear with me. I'm gonna do a chapter a day, I guess, and till we finish the book. I'm gonna mix it in. I mean, as we do work, and I'm able to video while we're out mowing and fixing stuff. But on a daily, I'll be doing this. Hopefully, I get better as the time goes on. The book is Max Out Your Life by Ed Mylett, and here we go. They are 86,400 seconds in a day. We each have the same 1,440 minutes to spend however we choose. Each of these minutes are precious moments. Some moments will be memorable, some regretful, and too many of them will be wasted. Time is measured by our birth and death. However we use those moments in between determine the quality of our lives. Hour by hour, minute by minute, these small units of time are too often filled with little things that really seem to matter at the time. Seeking small pleasures, avoiding minor discomforts, and pursuing trivial goals. We are too easily offended and too consumed with the opinions of others. If we're not careful, we simply begin to exist and not really live. The average lifespan for a person is 78 years. Of those years, 28 will be spent sleeping. And 7 of those sleeping years are spent lying awake at night with worry. Factor in the average 11 years watching television or surfing the internet. 10.5 years working. 4 years driving. The years spent eating, getting dressed, and doing mundane tasks. And it leaves approximately 8 years to live your life. If you were told right now that you had only 8 years left in life, what would that do to your sense of urgency? How deep would your gratitude for each moment become? The challenge is we don't know how many of those moments we actually get. If you've ever spoken to someone at the end of their life, you will often hear expressions of regret, missed chances, and opportunities. They recount how quickly life passed and not to take it for granted. I am often asked how I've made the most out of my moments as I strive to #max out my life. That is exactly why I've written this book. I want to help as many people as possible by sharing some of the techniques that have served me throughout my life. Each moment is fleeting and precious, and we know it. Why then do most people choose to let these moments slip away? I'm fascinated with maxing out every area of my life while I am here. I want to explore what is attainable. It all comes down to having experiences that create memories and legacy after we're gone. There is so much value in pushing past an existence of just getting by and designing a life that you can max out. I believe we are all born with blessings, gifts, and purpose. I think the recipe for a happy life is to discover your unique blessing and gifts, be driven by your purpose, and to use those to fulfill your destiny. The journey of discovering your gifts or blessings and how to use them as you chase down your purpose is your life story. How will the script of your life read? What story will be told? Will you discover a little of your purpose and go a few miles down the road? Will you push to uncover more and go a little further? Or will you fight to reveal all your gifts and blessings and go as far as you possibly can? Will you hashtag max out your life? My hope for this book is that the detail of my experience, strategies, and guidance help you achieve your next level of living. I want to help you uncover your purpose and embrace your blessings so you pursue the best version of your life. What if you could see that? What if you could see what that looks like? What if there is a version of you that achieved your maximum potential? What if when you reach the end of this life, you could meet the ultimate version of who you were capable of becoming? The question is, would the man or the woman you had become resemble that version? Or would you be total strangers? I believe we all have a destiny version of ourselves, the person we were born to be, the version of us that took risks, the version that walked the road less traveled, overcame adversities, and achieved true potential. I think of it like we all have a twin. This version of us who lived the life we are born to live and reached our full potential, that person is waiting for us on the other side after we pass. When my time here is finished and I meet my Maker, it is my hope that the Lord tells me, "Well done, good and faithful servant." I also envision a sort of ceremonial exit where I am introduced to the man I was born to be, that I was supposed to be and destined to be. I want to shake hands with that man. I want to be his identical twin. I don't want there to be a huge gap between my reality and the man I had the potential to be. Instead, I want them to be perfectly matched. That's my mission. Every decision I make, every action I take is measured against the simple question, will this get me closer to the man I was born to be? That is how you max out. I hope to teach and share with you some of the methods I've used to improve the key areas of my life. I believe this book gives you definitive steps towards achieving the ultimate and best version of you. The you that you were born to be. Chapter 1. Eddie Spaghetti. Things happen for me not to me. Someone recently interviewed me at my home after looking around at all the material blessings, the big house, fast cars, nice things. They asked me what I appreciate most about my home on a daily basis. The obvious answer, the one that's pretty hard to miss, is the fact that my backyard is the ocean. That's a pretty great thing. But honestly, a close second is pulling the shower faucet on every morning and having the water hit me in the face. When I first started building my business, things were really tough. Our house was foreclosed on. My wife's car was repossessed. The power was shut off. All of those things are difficult, but the worst was when the water was shut off. If you've ever been through this, then you know what I mean. You can't cook, you can't shower, you can't wash the dishes or brush your teeth. It's the absolute worst place to be in. At the time I was newly married to my wife, every morning we'd get up early and gather out our clothes before anyone else in our apartment complex was up. We'd walk down the stairs in the cold and use the outdoor shower at the complex's pool. I would hold up a towel to give my wife privacy because the shower didn't have a door. I remember feeling so ashamed. I walked back upstairs to our apartment hoping no one had seen us. I was that broke. I had to leave the pool shower, put on a suit, and pretend I was a successful entrepreneur as I built my business. I fought a mental and emotional battle of chasing my dreams while I struggled through the nightmare of my reality. Entrepreneurship is riddled with false starts. You'll take a couple steps forward, get a little success, and then you'll face an obstacle that pulls you back. However, it's not that bad. You will never be back to square one because each experience is progress if you've learned a lesson. If you genuinely understand how to achieve real success, you recognize that obstacles and setbacks are necessary. They strengthen you. They strengthen and test you. They prepare you for anything and everything life will continue to throw at you. When you are When you are experiencing the setback, take it as an encouraging sign and keep pushing through. I can relate to the struggle that all entrepreneurs go through when they are building their business because I almost quit several times. In the beginning, I had my share of adversity and disappointments. Being an entrepreneur is the most tremendous personal development program in the history of the world, with a massive compensation package attached. It is also one of the greatest self-awareness and self-discovery processes you will ever go through. The first thing you should know about me is I'm a normal dude. I didn't start out with millions in the bank. I know what it is like to fall on hard times and start from the bottom. As a young man, I was insecure and shy. Confidence does not come naturally to me, and I lacked it for most of my youth. As a kid, I was smaller than most boys my age and got teased a lot for it. I was a target and bullied until about the 5th grade. I was so little and thin, kids would call me Eddie Spaghetti. Somewhere along the line, someone was kind enough to compliment that label with, "Your meatballs are ready." making it quite a melody when recited. This certainly impacted my identity, making me reclusive, insecure, and self conscious. When you combine that with my shy and introverted nature, it was a recipe for low self esteem. As I grew up, I developed a passion for baseball. For many children, sports tend to reveal certain physical gifts and shine a light on them. It gives kids a place to belong and show capacity that they may not have seen inside themselves before. My gift was speed and strong hand-eye coordination. I became a solid hitter. My skills strengthened as I grew, and throughout high school, it was clear I was good enough to take it further. This part of my childhood was a turning point in my confidence. Being good at something improves confidence. I developed my skills even more and began to see myself as a winner. I put in the work, so I expected to win. I continued to play in college, but experienced an injury that would end my baseball career permanently. I was hit with a pitch in the right calf during a game and did not realize the extent of the damage. When I went in for examination, it was determined that a non-cancerous tumor had formed and had to be removed. The procedure removed the tumor and a portion of my calf that immobilized me for 8 months. After the cast was removed, the doctors found that a second tumor had formed. It was also non-cancerous. After many consultations, I decided to leave the benign tumor in my leg, and it's still there to this day. This too was a turning point in my youth. Baseball had been the way I earned recognition and accomplishments. It was where I had earned respect from my peers. I was not prepared for a plan B. I had no backup plan and had to discover what other paths I should take. I was devastated and without direction. We don't always understand why something is happening when it occurs. It's usually only in hindsight that its purpose is revealed. Looking back, I know that my childhood dream coming to an end was the beginning of my life's true purpose and destiny. After my surgery, I found myself living back at home with my mom and dad, sleeping in my old bed, surrounded by stuff from my childhood. I was broke, unemployed, and spent my days watching TV shows like Maury Povich and Jerry Springer. It was pretty pathetic. With my baseball career over, who was I? I knew I couldn't go back to being Eddie Spaghetti, but I struggled with identity and what my future held for me. One day my dad came home and said, "Hey, I found you a job. Tomorrow morning, you've got to get up and go to McKinley Home for Boys." McKinley is a campus of group homes for boys who were removed from their homes for reasons ranging from abuse to being orphaned. I was a young 21-year-old kid, and suddenly I was thrown into a totally new environment. I was living and working with these young boys day in and day out. It was amazing. After the horrible situations these boys had been through, they just wanted to be loved and for someone to believe in them. I became like a big brother to them. and it transformed my life. Helping them build their self-confidence and learn to believe in a better life began to shape my new identity. Suddenly, it wasn't all about me anymore. It wasn't about my ego and wanting to be rich and famous. It was about how I could help them, give value to them, improve their lives. I wanted to help these young boys rewrite their stories. I wanted to help them realize their dreams and discover their powers. These boys came from a life of trying to survive, and I was trying to get them to change from a mindset of survival mode to max out their lives. That's when I realized becoming a professional baseball player was never my true destiny. That's what everyone told me and expected of me. It was my story. However, my baseball career coming to an end had actually happened for me, not to me. It allowed me to find my real passion, which is helping people discover their God-given gifts and teach them to live life with purpose. It was during this time that I was introduced to my current business. At first, it was a means to make additional income working part-time. It allowed me to continue working with the boys until my business began to take off. In this new venture, I was able to also help people and feel good about my work. It was rewarding both emotionally and financially. I approached my new business from a place of genuinely wanting to better people's lives because I enjoyed it. My passion further fueled my work ethic and laid a strong foundation for success. As I built my financial services business, I started to notice that many adults are living similarly to the way those boys lived in the group homes, living in survival mode. I don't believe people were born into a life merely to survive it. I believe each of us is here with a purpose. While many people give up on discovering their purpose, I assume that because you're reading this, you intend to find yours. You are here to max out. My motto was, and still is, people matter, things don't. I spent the first part of my life building a legacy. I became a 7-figure earner by age 30 and an 8-figure earner by age 40 with a 9-figure net worth. That success has allowed me to shift much of my daily focus to helping others realize their full potential to max out their lives. About a year ago, I made a decision to publicly share the knowledge I've gained through years of building my career, being a peak performance expert, and coaching some of the top athletes and entrepreneurs in the world. Prior to that, I'd live an intentionally private life. I'm naturally an introverted person and fairly quiet, so this was a big transition for me. At the prompting of many close friends and clients, I stepped out of my comfort zone and started the Max Out movement. I created it to provide strategies and inspiration to help people around the world reach their maximum potential. For me, the idea of Max Out came when my son Max was 6 years old. One day I took him with me to the local car wash. As we sat waiting, a gentleman struck up a conversation with me about how children are always growing and changing. He looked at Max and then said to me, "Enjoy this age. Enjoy the 6-year-old version of him because when he's 7, the 6-year-old is gone forever." When he said that, I immediately wondered what when he stopped growing and changing, and why most people stop growing and changing. Without really thinking it through, I replied, "When did that stop for you, sir?" Growing. It occurred to me that letting go of the old version of oneself is not something to mourn, but rather to celebrate. We should always be in the process of changing and becoming the next best version of ourselves. Benjamin Franklin said, "Most men die at age 25, but we just don't get around to burying them until they are 75. That is referring to the fact that most people never live a fulfilling life. They stop doing what the 6-year-old version of them used to do. They stop growing and progressing and simply exist, spending years, even decades, as the same version of themselves. For some, once they reach a milestone birthday, they have a midlife crisis. Not for me. I want to be consistently growing, consistently striving to reach the ultimate version of me, regardless of my age. I'm never going to stop chasing down the man I was born to be. I'm on a quest, a life mission, to never be the same version of me, year after year. For me, it is a crisis. I am constantly evolving and adapting my thinking, my methods of communication, fitness, and all areas of my life. Recently, my teenage daughters jokingly asked me if I was in a midlife crisis. She was teasing me a bit about my level of social media posting and my recent change in appearance with a beard. I thought about her question and responded, "Yes, I'm in a midlife crisis. In fact, I'm in a daily life crisis. And I aim to be in a lifelong crisis as I continue to grow. When I was 25, I was in a crisis to not be the same version of me when I was 26. Same when I was 34. Same when I was 45. And I hope I will still be in the same crisis when I'm 75. Maybe this seems over the top. For the average person, it absolutely is. Not everyone is interested in achieving their maximum potential. This book is for the crazies. The ones that wake up in the morning wanting to be better than they were yesterday. The ones that can't turn it off, even if they tried. The ones that will not accept less than giving it all their all. The ones that want to max out. Sheesh. Well, that was chapter 1. Come back next time and tomorrow, and we'll start with chapter 2. Take it easy. Leave a comment. Give me a like if you enjoyed it. Ed Mylett, SNS Mowing Service. Let's go.